Yes, Hannah, Judy, I am in the College Downs neighborhood. That's about 3 miles out from Winthrop University here in York County. And what we were seeing was some major flooding, but it's quite amazing now within just the last 30 minutes here how much those floodwaters have receded here. I mean, when we first got out here, this entire road was washed out. It was closed off, but in the last few minutes here, they have opened up the road, and all this land you're seeing right now, all this grass, that was not visible just a few moments ago. So it's quite amazing to see how this water has receded, but a lot of the people who live out here are expecting for those floodwaters to pick back up as this rain continues to come down. So I just want to give you all some context, some of our viewers back home, give you some context of what this area is like. Think of Holly Hill. You know, I was out there the past couple of days and we saw that major flooding. A lot of the people that I speak to out in Holly Hill, they tell me that the major flooding that they see out there is due to a poor drainage system. Well, that's kind of the story out here in this neighborhood. A lot of the people that live out here says that there's a poor drainage system that runs throughout this entire neighborhood, and it causes these floodwaters here. Here's a bit that's still left over in this pit right here. So I spoke to the person that lives in this home just over to my left. I'm gonna have my photojournalist take you all that way. She lives right over there. She's been living out here since the 1960s, and she says that the flooding that they see here now happened back then. So this is kind of a typical thing. Whenever they get a few days of some heavy rain, they get this major flooding. So how does it happen? Well, she points to the poor drainage system, but she also says that there's a creek behind the neighborhood. I'm going to have my photojournalist for the day, Jalen, kind of push in there to that passageway. So the water from the creek behind that neighborhood, behind this neighborhood, kind of rushes in through this passageway, and it's supposed to go downstream here, but according to the people that live out here, because the drainage system is so poor, that water just kind of builds up and spills out onto the road here. So again, the water has receded, but I just kind of want to describe to you all what we saw when we first got out here. So take a look over there at that jungle gym there, this playground here. Now, when we first got out here, the water was up to those blue steps there. So despite the water and kind of the conditions that we saw out here today, as far as the heavy rain and things, kids still had to go back to school. So the kids that go to school within the Rock Hills School District, which many of the kids in this neighborhood attend schools within that district, they had to go back to school for the first day, but a lot of parents weren't happy about it. We spoke to some parents today. Go ahead and take a listen to what they had to say.
I mean, I didn't think it was safe at all because I could barely, travel here safely.
Was there any fear to send your kids to school today?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely some hesitation. We had some big water puddles on the road, and one, went right over the Jeep. So, I mean, it was, not the best conditions for sure.
I definitely don't think it was a good idea. I mean, there's obvious flooding out in the roads. There's trees down. There's debris in the roads.
So no matter where we are, WIS is always going to work to get you all some answers, to get answers to these concerns. So we sent these concerns straight to the school district leaders, and they sent us back these statements. It reads in part, quote, "We are working closely with our meteorologists and emergency officials to keep a careful eye on the weather today and tomorrow and plan to stay the course on our regular operating hours." That statement went on to say, while we do take attendance, the purpose was to know which students were on campuses. Our attendance team will be working through coding today's attendance with grace and support of respecting parental discretion. So we have a lot more for you all about this neighborhood and about the decision to send kids back to school today, but we're out of time for right now. I'll go ahead and toss it back to you all in the studio.
Ashley, thank you for making the trip to follow up on our neighbors there. Still ahead, homegrown ERAs in the Richland County says drainage issues are to blame for extreme flooding. How Tropical Depression Debby is worsening those conditions.